We have two brand new First Alert weather days. First Alert meteorologist Cutter Martin is monitoring right now what is expected to become our next named storm.
Yeah, the First Alert weather team, we're texting behind the scenes. Complicated forecast. We're communicating amongst the team and we're communicating with you. You just need to keep an eye on that Thursday, Friday forecast as we track what is likely to become Hurricane Helene. Now, for us, it's a Thursday, Friday impact, and there are many question marks here, but the potential is there. A reasonable worst case scenario is where we could have some severe impacts here across North Georgia, both from water falling from the sky, rainfall, flooding, and from wind. So we want to highlight those days as days to pay attention to, and we will pass along updates right here through the course of the weekend as our confidence increases in what we're going to see. Your confidence as to how to plan around it and stay safe will also increase. Outside right now, no weather woes. It's nice outside. Midtown Atlanta and just to the south, 82 degrees. Hartsfield, Jackson, about the same temperature as it was this time yesterday evening, and we only managed low to mid 70s this morning for a low temperature. Dog walk forecast, it's a cool down, but a slow one back into the upper 70s into the wee hours of tomorrow morning. Green paw print, meaning the weather is nice. Dogs are going to be happy. Get them out and get them back inside pretty quickly this evening. 74, that's about as cool as we can get in the city of Atlanta after breaking a record high temperature today, 97 degrees. 69 in Rome, upper 60s Carrollton, 67 in Canton, 68 Griffin, upper 60s in Thomaston, lower 70s though in Eatonton. And from there we're warming up. Upper 70s by 9 a.m., upper 80s by noon, getting hot very quickly. High temperatures tomorrow, occurring between 3 and maybe 5:30 in the afternoon. That'll be the hottest point. It's hot for other softball players through the weekend. Tomorrow, much the same, 94. If we hit 94, that would tie a record high temperature, and we did break today's 86 Ellijay your high, 93 in Athens, mid 90s in Eatonton. Pretty much everybody in the low to mid 90s. Now we have to talk about the busy portion of the First Alert forecast. Tropical wave here in the far eastern Atlantic will have a 60% chance of development within the next 7 days. That chance will probably increase. Closer to home, this is what we're watching, what may become Helene. 80% chance of tropical development as it emerges from the western Caribbean into the southern Gulf of Mexico. Again, for our impact, regardless of when it makes landfall, Thursday, Friday have the potential to have the worst weather. And right now you see that rain chances at 60%. Again, that's the average. That's the most likely scenario because confidence is very low as to exactly where this goes and exactly how strong it becomes. But reasonable worst case here Thursday into Friday, if we have a big hurricane making landfall in the Florida Panhandle and quickly moving inland and northward, this is that scenario, what we would expect. Widespread heavy rain would be possible. Urban street flooding, river flooding also a possibility. Damaging wind gusts, widespread and gusty winds, bringing down trees, knocking out power to quite a few folks, and tornadoes embedded within those downpours would be a possibility. Again, that's not necessarily guaranteed to happen, but it is a reasonable worst case scenario and something we all need to keep an eye on through the work week. Download the First Alert weather app. You'll get those updates even if you're busy ahead of this system Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's a work week. You're busy, but we want to let you know Thursday, Friday could have nasty weather, severe conditions in some scenarios, and we'll be passing along those updates. Good news, though, for the Georgia-Alabama game. The forecast dries out as we get into the weekend. Sean.
All right, Cutter, we'll see you in just